So, I believe my suspicions that Keith Rackett was being targeted by what we know, many of us know on the internet as voice to skull, microwave auditory effect, acoustic heterodyning. Keith Rackett was in the building next to mine, and I did not know this man, and I knew nothing about what he was up to or anything about his life prior to the detainment and start of my targeting. Keith Rackett seemed to be a very nice man from what I could see on the start of his YouTube channel. Just wanted to be a good dad, into health. And then you can see progressively he begins to start to slowly fall into what seems to be a psychosis of believing that the government is out to get him. And part of it, I think, stemmed from his, custody battle over his daughter and things not going the way he wanted. But my opinion, my theory, what I believe to be true is that this is a larger conspiracy of human trafficking. I believe Keith Rackett and his daughter to be victims of a human trafficking ring. And I believe, this is my theory, they wanted to make Keith Rackett unstable as much as possible. And one way to do that, create mental instability from the perception in the eyes of the government and the eyes of mental health. If they can do that, they can separate you from your child, and they can take your child and they can put them into human child sex trafficking. And from what it sounds like, the mother didn't have full custody over the daughter. So in cases like that, it's a lot easier. Well, around the time that this all was happening, I began feeling like I was monitored. The week before Keith Rackett was detained, I had some weird feelings. And I started to hear sounds, strange sounds, modulated speech that progressively got worse. I believe that whoever targeted Keith Rackett decided to target me in the next building over. And what they do is they pretend to be government. Whether they work with government or not, I do not know. They obviously have access to this kind of technology, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was some government affiliation, such as defense contractors, something of that nature. Surveillance. They try to pretend to be government so they can turn you against government. You guys, this is a national security threat. This is a national security threat. If people can use these weapons to get inside the heads of American people and turn them against their government, they can start a civil war. And if this is government corruption, which we've seen very clearly that with the Epstein files, that's a huge possibility. There's larger human trafficking rings at work. I'm very scared for this country. I am not a woman trying to get attention for the sake of attention. I am a woman in fear of my life. I am a woman in fear for the lives of children all over this country. And so I feel like it is my duty to speak up. And not only that, but I could have also been targeted because, like Keith, I have prior military service. But I never went on deployment. My service was very easy. I was a reservist. I have no PTSD, no reason to be upset from my military service. There was no trauma, large traumas. I didn't go to war. But they target people like this because they know it's easier to use the mental health cop out. I know. We have a very concerning issue going on in this country. And the FBI and the CIA, they know full well that this stuff is going on. And they're not telling the American people. For what reason? We have yet to find out. Whether this is larger organized corruption or they're actually trying to help us behind the scenes. I pray for the second. I pray for the second one. I'm very scared.